Hey everyone, and welcome to Get Celebritized, where I help you earn more so you can live more, a bigger, vivacious, wonderful legacy life so you can give back more and be the philanthropist I know you want to be, giving to your favorite causes and charities and family members and just people that matter most to you. And on this show, I'm your host, Aurea McGarry, and I help you by bringing you amazing people that you need to meet because they're doing amazing things. And so I'm always hoping they inspire you to live your bigger, best life ever. And today is a very special day because I love when I can bring on nonprofits and people that have stories that have led them to doing amazing, great work. So today I have Tiffany Jones. Now, hang on to your hat. She's the founder of Patchworks Inc. She's a breast cancer thriver, high school teacher, but she's an adventurer. And she is the spirited founder of Patchwork Inc., which is a nonprofit organization with a mission as grand as the mountains. She has traveled to Africa and she is kicking cancer's butt by climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. She's got a story to tell. I'm bringing her on because only her she can tell it the right way. I'm going to stumble over my words. Tiffany, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Aurea. It's so good to be here. I appreciate you.
Amazing to have you here. As a cancer thriver myself, when I had cancer, they removed half of both my lungs and my thymus and disconnected half my diaphragm, took out my vocal cord, told me never speak again. And that was an obstacle in itself, just talking. You have been through cancer in your family, you've had it, and you're climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. So let's talk about what started this wonderful journey that you have, not just to climb the biggest freestanding mountain, I think, in the world, but doing it for a great cause.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that is, oh my goodness. I know. And honestly, if you would have told me like 3 years ago that this is what I would be doing, I would definitely have not believed you. Right. It started with my mom. It started with my mom passed away in January of 2022. And I was crushed. I had lost my dad to cancer about 4 years before that. And then losing my mom was my best friend. And, I had been their caretaker, both my mom and my dad, as they went through cancer. And I just, I saw how it affected all of us, right? It is that as a caretaker of my parents, like the effect it had was so strong. Mm-hmm. And the devastation I felt losing her was the deepest, darkest place I've ever been, really.
Tiffany, you and I have kind of known each other from the different social media apps and kind of in passing. And that's how you ended up, here on my show. And I didn't know that about you, that your mom had passed away until I read your bio. And you're talking my language. My mom was the same way. My best friend, that person that was the closest to me. And I lost her to cancer, when she was just about to hit 60 and I was in my young 30s. It's definitely a life-changing moment when somebody that close to you, that is that special to you, then you lose them sometimes very quickly to that cancer diagnosis. So what happened?
Yeah. So exactly. I mean, it was just right. And it's, and I feel like you really don't know it until you know it. Right. Mm-hmm. And that's where I found myself. And I was, I was online, I was in Clubhouse, I was doing all these things on social media and getting to know people, networking with people around the world, amazing things. And I had met a man, Sean Swarner, who brings people to Africa every year to climb Kilimanjaro, people that have been affected by cancer. And he and I had been kind of working together for the past couple of years, and he knew my mom, and he would say, "Oh, Tiffany, you and your mom will come to Africa someday." And, I'm a 51-year-old mom of two, and I live in Maine.
On a plane.
Sure. Right. Exactly. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. And, at this time I didn't even have a job. Right. I was kind of,
this during the pandemic? You said 2020?
It was 2022. So, it was before, yes, during the pandemic. I left teaching in 2019 and I wanted to go create an online business.
Okay.
And that's how I met Sean and Clubhouse, et cetera.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, so yeah, I would say, yeah, someday, Sean, right? Like, yeah, that's a someday thing.
Someday's
Yeah.
not a day of the week.
No,
You know that.
exactly. Well, exactly. And that is, that's what really hit me was losing my mom, that realization that it really isn't, and that we can't say someday forever. You just
And that's
can't.
on your website. I love that. We can't say someday forever. Good for you. I really like that saying. It's even better than someday's not a day of the week, because we really have to realize, gotta live our legacy today.
Today. This is it, right? This is it. Exactly. And it was just so pronounced for me. It was so clear. And yeah, it was in a business group, accountability group, and they had a challenge at the end to come up with a big, hairy, audacious goal, right? What's the biggest thing you could do? If anything was possible, what's something you would do in 90 days? And I'm competitive. And I had, this has all happened. And I had, I had Sean's voice in the back of my head. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro.
No, wait a minute. The average person doesn't just come up, I think I'll climb Kilimanjaro. Had you been thinking about this? Was this like a lifetime goal? Because that's not something I would come up with off the top of my head. I'd be thinking, I want to go to the Oscars, I want to walk through a carpet, in Hollywood, something like that. You're like, let's climb Kilimanjaro. So was that a thought you had before? Now you're saying, now I'm going to do it?
So, I mean, not really, to be completely honest. Of course not. Sean had been telling me about his trips to Africa. Okay. I knew him and I knew that this was happening, right? I knew that he brought people affected by cancer to Kilimanjaro. And so, but I had never thought it would really happen. Okay. That was something that
that's where the thought came from. He's doing it and now you're like,
Right, exactly. And so all of a sudden, they had asked me to come up with a goal. I was like in this place and I was like, I'm competitive. Who's going to have a bigger goal than that? Because some people
I remember you talking about that on Clubhouse too. So
yeah.
I'm like, I remember that because you were doing the fundraiser to get you there. Remember that.
Exactly. And so I said that was my goal and I had no idea how. And I knew that I just had to break that big goal into these small pieces. And so, the first thing I did, and I did a little thing for Adidas, but I said the first thing I did was buy sneakers.
Okay.
That's what you got to do.
I love, Tiffany, that it wasn't about the how yet. When you come up with a big, hairy, audacious goal, it's about the goal. It's about the dream. The how to make it happen comes later, but you got to come up with, what is it you would do? If money were no object, if limits were no limits, what is it? Don't think, well, if I had, and I don't know how to do, stop all that and just, what would it be? And you did, they said, I'll climb Kilimanjaro. And you had not figured out anything yet, did not know how to. And then you came up with step one, let's buy sneakers. Okay.
Precisely. That was it, right? I mean, that was literally it. So I bought the sneakers. I joined a gym. I hadn't even been going to the gym, right? That's step two, join the gym.
Now you have to get in shape. You probably weren't even in shape for this. Were you an avid runner? Were you like doing marathons? Okay. So none of that. I am not in shape. I am just, I need to buy sneakers. I own a pair of sneakers, but I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro. I love this. That's a big, audacious, hairy goal.
It doesn't really.
Seemingly impossible. Seemingly impossible if you take somebody out of shape, never done it, thinking, well, this is going to be too hard. Oh my gosh.
It's completely, the odds were all against me, of course. Right. I mean, but I was like, I'm here. I'm here to try. I'm here to be. I'm here to do it. So I did this. I didn't have a job, like I think I mentioned earlier. So I
have no money. I love it.
No money. And so I was like,
experience, no sneakers, not a member of a gym, and no money to go. Woo, this sounds perfect.
You can see why I really wanted to do this.
I love this. This is my favorite.
Oh my gosh. So I could, I was always just looking for that next right thing that I could do. And so the next right thing I could do, I could start a GoFundMe. It doesn't cost anything, right? I can tell my story. I can tell you why I'm going to go climb this mountain. I have a very big motivation with, losing my mom and my dad both to cancer. I just didn't want cancer to win, right? It had taken so much from me, and I was just so passionate about doing this to really give a
Kick
voice.
cancer's butt. And I love your tag. Dude,
Yeah.
climb the Kilimanjaro to kick cancer's butt. Good for you. And now you're getting all the steps together, though, Tiffany, as we fast forward. Before you go, I believe you come up with a whole nother set of obstacles. Is that correct? Or did you do it once and then you had your setback?
No, it was so the timeline is my mom passed away in January. February, I bought sneakers and joined a gym. March was when my GoFundMe got funded by Grape Nuts.
Nice. How much did you raise?
Grape Nuts they were turned 125 years old. I hadn't thought about this cereal since my dad passed away. It was his favorite cereal. They chose 9 women to sponsor their GoFundMe adventures. I got $12,500 from Grape Nuts.
Wow, good for you. Again, didn't even have that when you made the goal, but just putting everything in motion, you never know.
You never know.
Now you've got the Grape Nuts sponsorship. Now what happens?
So now I have to go, right? I mean, now it was like, oh my gosh, now I have the money and I'm sponsored. Now I really have to do this. Scary. April 1st, I go in and have a mammogram and find out that I have breast cancer.
Oh my gosh.
That was April. Yeah.
We have to marinate in that for a second. You want to do this in memory of your mom and dad. Kick cancer's butt. You're getting everything together. You're feeling the fear. You're doing it anyway. You don't know how. You just make the goal. You make the decision. The how starts coming. You have no money. The money comes. And now you get cancer as you're about to climb a mountain to kick cancer's butt. You would think that would stop a person. But nay, let's continue.
I know. We're walking into the doctor's office and my husband is like, you're more afraid they're going to tell you can't climb than that you have cancer. And I was like, yes, yeah, I am, because I have to do this. What
was the date to do it? So now it's April. When were you planning to go climb the mountain?
So end of June. Okay. So it's April, end of June. So I continue to, I go into the doctors and I tell them, look, I know I have cancer. I get it. I have a lot I have to do. I said, but I have to go climb a mountain. And, they thought I was kidding at first, but then they got, then as they saw me, they were like, oh no. Okay. My doctors were amazing. They were all in for my climb. They were, the other piece, Aurea, that I want to share is that along this journey, I documented it, whether it was Facebook Lives or, there was some other social audio apps that I recorded things on, videos. I just wanted to share how I was doing this along the way, because so many times people set these goals and then you see them after, whether they did it or whether they didn't do it, but you never see the how, the journey. Exactly.
We want to see the imperfection. We want to see the falling down. We want to see how hard it was. And because that helps, because we all have hard times. So when you see your doctor's great, because I've had cancer and I know when you get diagnosed with cancer, my mom had cancer, my brother had cancer. I'm with you. We're have the same story almost. And it is immediate action. They throw you, whether it's into surgery to get out what they can sometimes, and they throw you into chemo or radiation. I mean, we do it now. There is no time to waste. Are you saying they didn't do that and let you climb, or did you have to have all that and then you climbed? Either way, it's wow.
So we kind of set it up so that I had a lumpectomy. I had a surgery the beginning of June. So the first week of June, I had surgery. The last week of June, I flew out to Africa. And then I was slated to do all the other things when I got back in August.
So it's in August, because you went on to have the double mastectomy and chemo and radiation, right?
When I got back, yeah.
All right, so here you are. There's cancer in your body, and we know that takes a toll in itself, and you're not at peak, optimal health.
Right.
or and you haven't been training, you're not a marathon runner, you get this big hairy idea in January and February. It's not like you want to, even run a marathon. It's you want to go to a different continent, climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world, which has obstacles of its own with the altitude. You've got to be in good shape. I can't even imagine this. So, how on earth did you go and did you reach the summit? Tell us about what happened now. You just had a lumpectomy. There's still cancer in your body because they have not gotten rid of it. And you're about to do something that the most healthiest person cannot achieve on a good day.
Yeah, exactly. And so so I did. I flew out to Africa, and again, that was huge for me. I'd never, flown to another country by myself, right? As a woman, like you're traveling,
Oh, you went alone?
all by myself. I was all by myself. So that was kind of exciting, the journey, but it has been all along about the journey. Jonathan Livingston Seagull, that book.
Yeah.
And, that kind of, he was like my spirit animal. And, just thinking about that, it is about enjoying this journey. And so, that was my mindset. And I did. I got there. I got to Africa. It's a 6-day climb up Kilimanjaro. Yeah, it's 19,341 feet.
It's the highest freestanding, not part of a mountain range,
right?
Mountain volcano in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go. And you just had lumpectomy and you've got cancer and you have to take care of that. Plus, your immune system, you're traveling the world, going to a different continent right after COVID and all this stuff. And look at your bravery muscles. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What drove you to say, all caution to the wind? Did you just know this was the right thing to do? Because there's a lot of things that would have stopped somebody just out of common sense. Like, not trained, and you got cancer, we're still getting over a pandemic, you're flying to another continent. I mean, just all the things. It's going to be, hello?
I know.
I'm just so, it's just amazing.
I did. I knew that this was what I needed to do. I was guided like along the way. It was all about just being open to the journey and the signs, right? Like, is this the right thing to do? Yes. I kept getting the green light.
You really felt called. You really felt it in your bones. I need to do this. Good for you.
So strong. So so I was there, and honestly, getting cancer myself, it was personal before to kick cancer's butt, but having cancer, I was like, oh no.
I love it that you're climbing the mountain with cancer.
Yeah.
You have cancer and you're climbing that mountain. So the 6 days, tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Okay. Yeah. So it is, it's insane. It is really, it is insane. It is, you go through all these different, kinds of tropical, like the rainforest. You start at the rainforest and then you go to evergreens and then you go to tundra and desert. I mean, there's like up the elevations, it changes all the time. So you start off in the rainforest, and the first thing you start off with, they tell you pole pole is Swahili for slowly, slowly. Pole pole. And that is how we climbed, was one step at a time, slowly, slowly, which honestly is a little bit hard too to do, because my automatic is not slow. I am, I'm kind of wired to go instead of slow. But it's amazing what happens when you do slow it down to that one step at a time. And that's what I did. We all did. I was with a great team of climbers. I was, with a group from around the world that all had been affected by cancer in one way or another. So that was also a really bonding experience. And the first kind of challenge that I really wanted to get to was on day 3, we get to a place called the Lava Tower, which is 15,000 feet. Up until this point, the highest mountain I'd ever climbed was 6,000 feet. So this is, double that easy. 15,000 feet, the lava tower. And you get there on day 3 and you have lunch and you kind of stay there for a little while to get acclimatized and have your body adjust, because it really is, there's no oxygen. And then you hike back down to sleep that night, right? So you go up and you let your body acclimatize, and then you go back down to sleep.
Do you wear an oxygen mask? Because you said there's no oxygen.
No, I mean, there is some. Oh, it is just thin. It is very thin.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, no, you don't wear a mask, but it is thin. It is really, you're affected by it. So you just feel very heavy.
Okay.
I felt very heavy.
Is this a steep walk? Because I read that you don't need mountain climbing gear to do Kilimanjaro, but I know it's got the elevation. Now you're talking about all these different climates you have to go through, and you can't descend too fast or you could die. So it's not an easy thing. It is dangerous, but you're saying one step at a time. Is it, like I said, like climbing a steep hill and just for days? Is that about as hard as it gets, besides the climate, of course?
Yeah. So yes, most of it is that, and most of it is just kind of climbing, like a steep hill. Yeah, it is definitely like that. And there's all kinds of trails to get up to Kilimanjaro. So, you can kind of pick your poison, if you will.
Okay. So the most dangerous thing about it is the elements, the lack of oxygen, the altitude in your body. Is that correct? But there's not picking and hiking and swinging on ropes and.
Well, so that was day 4. That was day 4.
You're swinging on ropes on day 4?
It's a wall. It's called the Barranco Wall, and there's a rock called the Kissing Rock, because you are basically like this, rock, and you are kissing the rock, right? As you kind of like go across this rock, it is insane. I mean, it was, we didn't have picks, we didn't have ropes, but it is rock climbing.
Okay. Gotcha.
It is rock climbing. And so I had known, that this was also, Lava Tower had been like my first goal that I really wanted to get to, but Barranco Wall was my next, really, like, I wanted, like, if I can do that. And I did it. Day 4, I did Barranco Wall, and I was like, oh, like, yes,
I love it.
And that was amazing. After that, the trail gets really dusty. It's like Mars. It's like silt and rocks, and it's slick, kind of, right? It's like this dusty silt, and I slipped and fell, and I slid down. A rock stopped me.
Oh my gosh.
But my head was down the mountain and my feet were up the mountain. And I looked at the summit and I was like, I don't want to die. I didn't come here to die on this mountain. I mean, there is like a helicopter pad below me. There is like, that was day 4. The next day, my team was going to get to base camp and then summit. But I just realized, I looked at the summit and I realized, I don't want to die. I did not come here to die. And I want to walk off this mountain on my own 2 feet.
Yeah.
I don't want someone to fly me down. I don't want, and they did, my team, we had, guides, etc. They would have carried me. If I needed to go, they would have carried me to the top. I mean, as it was, they carried me to my tent that night. I have like black and blue marks on my arms where they literally carried me to my tent, but I couldn't breathe. I was like dehydrated. I just my body would not do it. My body was not.
Listen to your body. It's very important. So what happened? So that was day 4. You made it. There was one more summit to get to. That was the top.
Yeah. And so so I had to make the decision to go down. Mm-hmm. And I did. And, I was in tears. I was a mess. Felt so bad. You feel like you let everybody down. I felt like, all these emotions, but I really also felt a strange peace, because I did do so much.
You
You
did.
know, I did so much, or like I really beat all the odds. And as I was walking down, my mom, as close as we were also very different.
Mhm.
She was very gentle and, oh, everything's as, you're right where you're supposed to be, Tiffany. And I'm like, well, I'm like a go, go, go. Like I'm a bull in a china shop. And she was just like, oh, la, la. And it would, sometimes we were like oil and water that way. But my mom's voice came to me. I heard her clear as day as I was walking down the mountain. And she said, Tiffany, sometimes it's stronger to be gentle than to fight.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. And, that it just hit me. And it really honestly that changed my life. I mean, I so often fight, and it really is stronger to be gentle, whether that's, gentle on myself,
Yeah,
gentle with others, like, all the things. It really is
yeah.
stronger to be
And
gentle.
I feel another learning lesson in this is, especially as women, we're so hard on ourselves. We
Oh,
think about what we didn't do, like I didn't make it to here. Instead of it, I know you do what I'm about to say, is celebrate the win. All the wins, like I said, just having a lumpectomy, you have cancer, you're in a different continent, you're fighting the elements, you're climbing all the way up 4 days when most people can't make it out of bed if they just had, diagnosed with cancer, a lumpectomy or whatever. And you're not a trained athlete at this point, but you went and did it. The bravery, the excellence, the endurance, the health it took to just get 4 days. I wouldn't probably make it the first 5 minutes, and you did 4 days. So look at and I know you do, but for those listening and viewing,
yeah.
it's the positive. Look at all the things that were wins. And if that last leg wasn't, here's my question to you. You had all these wins. You came back and you kicked cancer's butt. We'll talk about that in a second, because that was on your horizon. You had to come back down, then now go through kicking cancer's butt on your own body. But you have the win of you went that far. So excellent. But let me ask you this before we unpack what happened when you got back. Will you ever, do you think you'll give it another shot?
Well, so I just want to, yeah, definitely share what happened was that my team had 2 days that they were going up and summiting. With that 2 days, this is honestly where Patchworks was created, because I had been a teacher. I'm a teacher. I love education. And I think I'm just passionate about it. I think it's the answer to so many pieces of our life, right? Education and knowledge. But I had 2 days in the village that I would not have had if I were on the mountain. And in that 2 days, I got to visit this orphanage and these schools. I saw so clearly the teachers that they have nothing. They, pencils, they don't have pencils, they don't have paper, there's no supply chain for the teachers to get curriculum. They don't have curriculum. They don't have workbooks or, a photocopier. Like they have nothing. And the teachers are there working with these kids every day, day in, day out. And, I had brought things over. My daughter had gotten donations during the year, knowing I was going. And so I brought pencils and I brought paper over, and that was great. But what I really saw was the need to help these teachers on a permanent basis.
Wow.
And I, again, just kind of like me climbing the mountain, I know it was like, this is my legacy.
That is your summit. So wait a minute.
This
We
is
need to be clear with this. Your reason for going over there wasn't what you thought it was to reach that summit. The whole goal, the whole purpose your mom had and God had, and the bigger picture was to get you there, to come down that mountain and spend those 2 days there to start your legacy and help those there. That's the summit.
Yeah.
You did reach the summit.
Yeah.
Tell us what you do now. I'm just get goosebumps.
I know.
I didn't know what happened during that 2 days that you weren't at the top. That was the reason you were there. There's no losing any part of this scenario. You started Patchworks. Tell us what it is, how we can help, because that was birthed at that moment. There's your summit.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Wow.
And I mean, I'm just so grateful. I mean, now one of my favorite songs is God Bless This Broken Road That Led Me Straight to You.
Yeah.
And that's my story. Like, I had no idea that what was meant to be, but God bless my broken road.
I love you're so open because you always say yes. I mean, you could have said no to that. Oh, got cancer, can't go now. So many things could have stopped you, but you went, and it wasn't about reaching the top of the mountain. It was about reaching those children, those teachers.
Yeah.
God knew your heart for teaching and children, put you just exactly where he wanted you to be at the exact right time. What looked like a defeat was actually the biggest win that could possibly happen, because reaching the top of that mountain would have been woo, but you would have never met those kids and those teachers.
And exactly. And so I met, I was there, I saw this, I connected with the place that we were staying is called Springlands Resort. It's in Moshi, Tanzania, which is the town that Kilimanjaro is in.
Okay.
And I connected there with a nonprofit there called Zara. And they have Zara Charities. It's this woman who's in Moshi who's done amazing work in Tanzania. And I saw the opportunity. I never thought I would get to go to Africa, let alone go help kids. And you said it right at the beginning, Aurea, like, we all want to be that servant. We all want to give. We all want to help. And like, it is the reason that I want to make money is because I want to give, right? I mean, that is
give more.
Earn more, give more. That is, I love that so much. And that is my purpose. And so the fact that I got to be there and meet these kids, talk with these teachers, and see this, I said, I want to bring other people here.
Mm-hmm. So what do you do now? Let's talk to real quick about what do you do now? How can we help, and what now has happened by being there? Because I think this is such a great cause. I want everybody to know what you do, what you need, and how we can help.
Okay, amazing. Yeah. So what I do, Patchworks Inc. Is an organization. We're nonprofit. I just got my 501c3. I'm like, so excited. We bring people and we bring supplies over to Tanzania to uplift the teachers and the community. So we do 10-day trips, which is 5 days of service and 5 days of safari. And
safari.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. So last year was, so this was my mountain climb. Last year was my first year where I brought people back, and I brought my 11-year-old daughter. And, sometimes when you have an idea of what can happen, you don't know, but what we do it, right? Like, I do it. Now we can bring people. I brought people back, and we have this 10-day trips, and they're very affordable, right? It's all inclusive.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's very affordable, so that real people, like anybody, can actually do it, right?
How often do you go? Like, have you gone once now, and do you go yearly or quarterly?
Yeah. So I go yearly. And so our next trip is June 30th to July 10th. And
2024?
Yep, 2024. And so, and so now I am a teacher now. So they kind of will go with that schedule, and I'll go every summer. I mean, my dream is to absolutely have this, grow and become a place where I can go all year round with people. But for now,
is that the best time of year, like weather-wise? Is that, because I know the Mount Kilimanjaro can probably be really cold at the top, even though Africa's really hot, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's snow, but it is. It's a beautiful time of year in Africa. It's not too hot. It's actually their winter kind of season, so it's perfect. It's it's like a nice spring. It's warm, but I
love that. So people can go to your patchworksinc.com, and well, obviously people that can't go or just don't want to go to Africa can pay for the supplies, can sponsor, can get people, because I see you having teams like every month or every quarter. Doesn't always have you specifically, but sponsoring out troops to go and give us supplies. And what else do you do besides give us supplies?
Yeah, so that's awesome. We do supplies. We do a school. We go into the school and we kind of get to see the kids. We brought a parachute last year. We brought tambourines, and we get to play with the kids and really see them. Oh yeah, like a little, in gym class. It was so fun. Anyway, so fun. So we get to do that, but also many of these kids have moms that are single moms that don't have skills, etc. So we are working on building courses for the moms to really get them some skills so that they can be self-sustaining. That's our next programs that we're building is for the moms.
I love
and
it.
Yeah, and then we also do a lot of tree planting. There's a whole nursery that we have that's right there that we plant avocado and mango trees.
Nice.
So that, they can have food, but they can also sell those products. And again, it's all about sustainability and the environment. Then we also do beehives and beehive community. Yep. Up in the Maasai village. So
wow. So people can donate to support all of this, or I saw the page that you have there where people can actually join you and go to Tanzania and be a part of the experience.
Exactly.
And just quick side note, because I do want to, before we wrap up, talk about your battle with cancer, how that all wrapped up, and where you are now. But can people still now get with you to climb the mountain as well? Do you still have that connection so they can either stay below or climb the mountain or do both?
Exactly. Yes, 100%. So you can do all those things. Yes, I have a great team of people that are really excited to have people come and climb the mountain if you'd like, but not necessary. And then, the safari is also there. And then there's also a place called Zanzibar, which has beautiful oceans, and we're going to do some ocean cleanup too. So that's just another trip that's evolving with the voluntourism.
That's amazing. Good for you. I just so love your story, Tiffany, and how you did that big, hairy, audacious goal, and with none of the hows and none of it made sense. Let's just say that. Always say, make a realistic goal. Make it give it butterflies in your stomach, but it's got to be kind of realistic. Yours was none of that. It was so big, hairy, and audacious. It was like, what? And then you did all of that, and it changed your life. And now you're changing the lives of hundreds of others, kids and teachers, and people that will go with you to be able to give. You just started something in motion from one big, audacious, hairy goal that made no sense to anyone except for you. And anybody that would have heard it out of your mouth probably said, you're going to do what and when? And then you get diagnosed with cancer and you think, well, now you can't go, but you went anyway. So before we have to close up, I absolutely just love your story. I hope everybody goes to patchworksinc.com. I'm going to go over there today. Actually, that we're filming it is Giving Tuesday. So I'm going to go online too and share something you've put on social media for this and get you out there for Giving Tuesday. And then from then on as well. But you come back now and you reached the summit. You reached the summit. And then some with the cherry on top. And you come back now and you have to face cancer and surgeries. So tell us, what year was that? And how did that all go? And where are you now?
Yeah. So that was, that was 2020. So 2023. Right. This year.
Wow.
Yeah. My hair is just growing back.
So great.
Yeah, I was told that I was going to have a double mastectomy, and then after when I got back, and that might be it. But what happened for me was, again, a broken road in that I came back and they said, actually, you need to do chemotherapy before your double mastectomy. So I got to have, a full chemotherapy and did that whole gamut, lost my hair, was bald for, a long time. And all those pieces, right? Such a mental journey. It's a physical journey, but it really is such an emotional journey.
So it is. Yeah. It really just tears you down. Chemo doesn't just tear down your entire body inside, outside. It's exhausting. My cancer, my non-Hodgkin's was curable, but I almost died from the chemo. It's like, just got to make it through the chemo. I swear they need to find a better course than chemo.
I know.
Primitive.
It is.
Please come up with something better than that.
Yeah, exactly. So and then I had a double mastectomy, which was really hard. And I had tubes. I didn't really realize I had like 4 tubes. I had to have for forever. I can move my arms now. I love this so much, right? I'm like,
Yay!
oh,
Praise the roof, praise the roof. Excellent. You look fantastic. It has not
oh,
dampened your spirit, which is all that matters. And
yeah.
how are you health-wise now? Is everything good? Clean bill of health?
Yeah, so everything is great. I did end up having radiation as well. So I got to do, I got to just do all of it.
There you go. Do it
Yeah,
all.
do it all.
It all.
Sure. But I'm in active recovery, and I've gotten to get back to the gym in this last month. August was my last surgery, and where are we now? November. Yeah. So
Friday. It's not been that long.
I know. Yeah. No, it hasn't been that long. This is still pretty fresh for sure. But
I mean, hair growing back. You know how long it took me to grow my hair that length? That's amazing. It was so slow for me. It was terrible. You look great. Good for you. God bless you. It's amazing. And I wish you all the blessings. Keep on going. I've been cancer-free 23 years. So use that as a litmus stick for you. Keep on going.
Yes.
Now that you're in this, you're just beginning. Oh my gosh, your whole journey, just like when my cancer happened, my whole world started. I mean, everything I do now started from them saying, you have cancer, you'll never talk again. And then my whole world just opened up and everything great happened from there 23 years ago. And now you're at that pinnacle where all this is happening. And I love the way it unfolded. There's so many lessons we could unpack in this about how to reach for your dreams and how to overcome your obstacles, how to climb your crazy, audacious mountain.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many. I'm sure you'll unpack this. One thing before I get to our closing questions is, where can people find you to follow this journey that you did when you climbed the mountain? Is it on Facebook, you said? What would be the platform for that?
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram is a great place to find me.
Under your name?
Patchwork. Yeah, I'm a TJ Me Uplift.
Yeah, and is it on your patchworkinc.com?
It is. Yep, it is. It's on patchworksinc.com. That's a great, that's a great website to go to, and it has all the
social media links will be there.
Yep, exactly. All my social media links. Yep, yeah. So LinkedIn, I'm everywhere.
All right, so go to patchworksinc.com. Your social media links are there because I want to go back and I want to see this journey. I want to go look at those Facebook lives and watch you do all this, because history was made there, and you're giving people no excuses to give up on their dreams and no excuses not to dream in the first place. Yeah. And it really, I just cannot applaud you enough, because when we don't applaud ourselves enough. And it's really important that we say, bravo, well done. Just taking that one step in front of the other that you did walking up that mountain. You said it was step by step, taking it slow. And then you felt like you crashed and burned, but you didn't. That was just the beginning of the big win. And it reminds me again, when they took out my vocal cord, you're thinking, well, that's the end, so much for the rest of your life. It's like, no. That was actually the beginning. That was the best thing that could happen, because now God gets all the glory every time I open my mouth. So with that, give us, as we have to close up, best lesson learned. And then I'm going to ask you my closing question, but give us your best lesson learned, and maybe one mistake that maybe you did, and you wouldn't, maybe like something like that you learned, a negative and a positive lesson learned.
Okay. Yeah. So I think, that is my tagline, is that you can't say someday forever. And that is my biggest lesson learned, is that, every day is a gift. This is it. And, we always can find a reason why to not do something. But we have to try. We have to move forward one step at a time. Don't stop believing. Don't stop believing. Keep those dreams alive.
Sounds like a song. I like that. That's great. That's great. But good for you. You are the poster child for don't stop believing and never give up and dream big. And I love that, we're so simpatico, because I talk about, live your wildest dream. That little girl and that little boy dream that when people used to come up to you when you're little and pinch your cheek, say, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you, without hesitation, would say astronaut or star or scientist or Pulitzer Prize or whatever you want to with before people got you, said, you can't do that. You're not this enough or that enough or smart enough or whatever. And you just took the whole lid off of all of it, saying, why not? So On that note, I love to ask everyone something that's very close to my heart. I did my television was called Live Your Legacy TV. My summits were Live Your Legacy Summits because after I had cancer, I was very clear God wanted me to help others live their best life right now. And like
Mm.
you, some days not a day of the week. Some you can't say someday I'm going to do this or do that or live my best legacy. So I love to help people just think about creating and living their legacy on purpose instead of waiting for us to die and then somebody else figures it out. Well, what did you do? And you get to cultivate how people remember you and what your legacy and your footprint was. So I know you've got such amazing ones, but in a nutshell, what do you hope your legacy will be when you take your final breath?
I really hope that my legacy is to uplift. I think that I wanted to uplift myself, and by doing that, I'm uplifting others. And I hope that my legacy is one of giving and uplifting all. I think that's really my hope.
Well, you're doing it. And I have to say, part of your legacy is absolutely inspiring people to believe in the unbelievable, in the impossible. And your legacy will live on that. If you can do it, why can't they do it? And there's going to be so many people just, it's going to outlive your life. They're going to say, remember you hitting that summit and all you did and how you made that your life's mission from those 2 special days
Yeah.
that looked like defeat, where actually it was the winning summit right there with those children. That's a legacy. Those children and that community and that town and that whole
Mhm.
continent is going to be so different because of you and your legacy. So
Mhm.
thank you for being brave because it took huge bravery muscles to get on that plane when all the odds were against you. And I just can't applaud you enough. And I still get goosebumps just thinking about, gosh, that's not something I would have even done. I think I'm a brave person and love adventure, but that's like so beyond when you get that diagnosis of cancer that you're thinking of at that moment. And you did it anyway.
Yeah.
Good for you. Thank you for inspiring all of us to believe in those big, hairy, audacious, crazy, crazy, unbelievable dreams.
Yes.
And you gave everybody no excuse to not believe in their dreams.
Believe. Yes.
Amen. Amen. Tiffany, I adore you. I want to bring you back on. Today is Giving Tuesday. Probably not when you're watching this, but as we're filming it, today is November 28th. It is Giving Tuesday. So, in honor of today, whenever you're watching this or listen to this in podcast world, that you give to your favorite charity or cause. And if you could consider giving to Patchworks Inc., you will change the lives of so many children and so many mothers, single moms, and people in the beautiful, beautiful area of Tanzania.
Yes. Yep.
Tanzania. Thank you for opening up the world of Kilimanjaro and that beautiful community to all of us over here and around the world that will be listening to this. Tiffany, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was amazing. I really appreciate you so much. This was
Appreciate you.
wonderful.
God bless your continued healing journey. I am just claiming now you are cancer free. That part of your journey is over. Time to onward and upward, go up the next mountain. You can do it. And here's to your visit in 2024 in June. Y'all, if you're feeling adventurous, you want to make a difference, get with her at patchworks.com and go join her in Tanzania. Go over there, make a difference, and climb a mountain. Why not? I love it. Thank you, Tiffany, so much. Until next time, I'm Aurea McGarry from Get Celebritized, hoping and helping you earn more so you can live more, live bigger and audacious, for darn sure, and give back more to the causes and charity and people that matter most to you. And today, in honor of Tiffany, patchworksinc.com. I hope you'll give and support. Thank you, Tiffany. Mwah.
Mwah. Thank you.
See you next time. Bye for now.